Okay, so now we're recording. So let's jump back a slide here. Okay, so how did I go from new agent to selling 300 plus homes per year, and now I work only 1 day per week? Lars Hedenborg, creator of the ultimate business blueprint for real estate agents. You can check out my website, larshedenborg.com. So today's agenda. First, I want to go through the overview of the Lars Group. That's my team. Where we came from, where we are now. And then I'm going to go through, I traveled to a lot of different conferences around the country, and agents typically ask me questions that I kind of bucket into a few different categories. I want to go through those with the group here. In the process of going through those questions, I'm going to reveal some pretty cool some cool tools that I use in my business, and I'm going to send those out via email, and you can have all those tools, no obligation whatsoever. So we're going to cover leverage, something I learned early on. Danny Griffin and Craig Proctor Coaching laid out the definition of leverage, and I've sort of held on to that ever since, and I'll show you how I use it in my business. I just changed this from 3 critical technology tools, but now I change it to 4, and I'll go through those. And you're going to be surprised how simple my business is in the process of revealing those critical technology tools. And then the 3 areas agents must focus on every day. And then the big thing, and probably the toughest thing to sort of teach folks, is the critical mindset shifts, or the different mindsets that you need to build a business. Then we'll go through the ultimate business blueprint. And I'm going to go through it in a way that kind of lets you know how I built up my business and the things that I focused on. So it is the basis for the inner circle, which I'll tell you about. And that's the opportunity to learn more, no risk, and take your business to the next level. So it's been a short time in terms of my business. I started the Lars Group less than 3 years ago. I was a sort of a solo agent before that. I had an admin, one buyer's agent in 2009. We have 20 today. We'll be at 320 to 325 transactions this year. Next year, we will go through 400. We've got the business structure in place. Really the focus has been empowering others to build sustainable operations. So I had a clear mission to not work in my business. And I've achieved that. And I'll show you exactly how I did that. Letting go, having faith in others. Ultimately, I don't want to sort of blow off my team and their plans. I'm still involved and meet with them on an as needed basis. There's the growth brings about lots of change and opportunity. Our focus is on creating, a Disney-like experience. I went to Walt Disney World and had breakfast with the princesses at the castle, and paid like $400 for a 40-minute breakfast. But it was just about the best thing, most amazing experience I've ever been through in terms of just the way it was all choreographed, and the way my children reacted to it. So, we've definitely got a Super Bowl caliber team, but we're always upgrading, and the right people in the right seats. My end game has changed a little bit. It was growth for growth stakes for a while there, but now it's finding the sweet spot, and I'll tell you what that is. World-class organization versus gunslinging salespeople. So we've got lots of structure, accountability, and our sales folks get it. I'm owning the company now. I'm not an operator, and I don't have really no day-to-day involvement. So there's our sales growth. Buyers versus sellers. We're still a little heavy on the buyer side, and that's just the sort of where I came from and how I started in the business. We'll probably do 185, 190 buy sides this year, and 135, 140 or so sell sides. So we're still going for 50-50 there. This is my production over the years. So in 2008, it was just me. 2009, in August, September, I brought my first buyer's agent on, and very, very intentionally been getting myself out of the business. I only have a couple of sales this year because close friends of mine, I had listed their home in 2012 and sort of carried over to this year. So next year and beyond, there will be no production for Lars. So in terms of my vision, very simple organization structure, open and efficient communication. We work hard, we play hard, but at the end of the day, it's a system. And a good example, I've got 2 agents that joined my team in March. Neither one of them had sold a home previous to joining my team. They're both licensed, but they hadn't sold a home. And combined, they're at, I think, just about 55 sales combined between the 2 of them. And so that's as a result of our system. they're very competent salespeople, but it's the system that we plug them into. So I mentioned the Disney-like experience. They're highly driven. Our sales force, they respect accountability, and the hungry are fed. I basically run team meetings, and I don't have much of a role in day-to-day operations. I've got two folks, two gals that run it mostly for me, finding the sweet spot. This is my organizational structure. So if you're not looking at the screen, look at the screen. It looks more complicated than it is. It looks like it has more people in it than it really does. I've got a sales manager, I've got an operations manager, and I've got an executive services manager. So Keely manages our sales team. She also doubles as my incoming seller lead, ISA, and she manages our listing specialists, our buyer specialists. We've got an inside buyer ISA, and we've got some offshore seller ISAs and also buyer ISAs. I'm in the process of experimenting or seeing if I can make the offshore buyer ISA model work. Cherie handles our operations. She has our buyer closing coordinator, our listing coordination. Our listing coordinator, Kara, also closes our listings. We've got a sales ops support person that sits at the front desk. We've got a full-time photographer, and then we've got some virtual assistants in the Philippines. Jess doesn't have any staff, but she manages advertising and marketing coordination, our HR reporting, and she closes out our files and runs our past client programs, and she also manages referral for us. So we've got the org structure in place to deliver a great experience to our clients. So these are expectations of my team. A positive focus. So I surrounded myself with people that every time we get together and every huddle call that we have 3 times a week, we're always talking about what's good in our life. What are the top 3 things that happened in the last week? And it's the basis of how we operate. Personal accountability is of utmost importance. And this is just a pet peeve of mine. Everything that's happened in my life, good or bad, is a result of something that I've done. And to me, it's the key to operating at peak performance. No dysfunction allowed. Open, honest communication. Ask for help. You're not expected to know everything. Mutual respect between leaders. Empowered leadership to make changes for the good of my sales teams. They know that there are minimum requirements and standards, and we're always looking to upgrade, not just people, but skills. So if you're not really into training or getting better at what you do, you're probably not going to last long on our team. It's the sports analogy. Feed the hungry. This is big, and we've really gone over to this year. There's no more handouts. If you work hard and you make things happen, you're going to get the bulk of company-generated business. We'll all embrace accountability, and I'll show you that here. Activities lead to result. We now have a leaderboard, and basically it's just simple. Every month homes put under contract is the measure of success in our business, and we have contests around there. I'm imagining most of you have seen my marketing ROI report. That's one of the reports I'm going to share with you. But basically, I've simplified my marketing where I really don't mess with something unless I can get 50, or I can see a path to getting 50 or 60 transactions out of something. So if you look at the screen here, radio, it's very expensive. It does pull pretty good for us. It's not the highest return because it's expensive. It's $9,000 a month. Still do expired and FSBO mailings. We revamped those. If you haven't checked out HossPratt.com, he's got some expired and FSBO letters that are just straight Dan Kennedy, old school direct response letters, which are really, really cool. Definitely check out those. This month alone, we've got 22 calls on just our expired letter sequence, which is just a 5-letter sequence. It's a black and white letter. Anyway, just check it out. It's definitely worth checking out. It's very low cost. Raving Fan Club is pretty much on autopilot. It's very low cost. It accounts for probably about over 100 deals for us this year. That's our past client program. I got the Raving Fan Club from one of my dear friends and mentors, Jay Kinder, Kinder Reese, Mike Reese as well. Basically, we just mail monthly jumbo postcard. We do the viral bi-monthly video sequence. Frank Klesitz is, and if you don't know him, Get Viral, VYRAL, getviral.com. He is a marketing I probably wouldn't call him a genius because he'd probably take it straight to his head, and he's pretty. He's just a smart guy, and he's really giving in terms of helping you with your marketing and making the most out of your past clients. We do quarterly calls. We just did our annual fall festival, monthly newsletter. I just started up Service for Life again. It's an old school. It's Craig Fort. Is it Craig Fort? Um, yeah, it's Craig Fort, I think. Service for Life. It's just an unbranded sort of, non-real estate related monthly newsletter. We just started it up again. I used that early in my career, and I just think it's a good direct response lead generator. I farm my neighborhood. It's a pretty decent price point. There are homes from 350 in the lower end to 550, 600 on the upper end. I might get 6 to 8 sales in here a year, but with those commission checks, $500 a month, it's a no-brainer. Boomtown was number 9 customer, and so we still crush it with Boomtown. We just added pay-per-click this year. I just added Commissions Inc., and I'm like way, way, way impressed with Commissions Inc. I think I've generated 300 leads, almost 300 leads this month on Commissions Inc. Very low cost lead generation tool. And that's the offshore calling model that I said I was testing. Yard marketing still kills it for us. We have 3 signs in every yard: a voice pad sign, a yard sign, traditional yard sign, and an everyday open house sign. This is what I focus on. I spent 2 weeks with Tony Robbins in Fiji, did his Business Mastery 1 in Vegas and Business Mastery 2 in Fiji. And, he broke it down into 7 forces of business mastery, creating an effective business map. And it's the sort of the J. Abraham 3 ways to grow a business. Constant strategic innovation. That's where the real estate industry is really, at some point, it's going to catch up to us. It's a sort of a old, dying industry, and there will be disruptive things happening in our industry, which is why it's important to stay ahead of that. Marketing, sales mastery on both sides of the equation. I'm a hawk on lead to appointment to client to closing to raving fan. So that sales funnel, we sort of look at each sort of pinch point in there and do the most to maximize that. Power of financial analysis. It surprises me how many agents don't look at their financials on a monthly basis, and they don't have them organized with a proper chart of accounts and constantly optimizing, maximizing people, culture, processes, and execution of your services. And then sort of on top of it all is to create raving fans of your clients, but also a raving fan culture where your staff delivers a level of service that is just way above any other agent in your market. So a little bit about me. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but my background is in engineering. I got a degree from a small engineering school in New Jersey, 1995. Worked probably for about a year as an engineer. Figured that wasn't the career for me. It was kind of boring. I went to Wall Street, worked for an investment bank in the late 90s. From there, I went to a more junior role on an acquisition strategy team for an aerospace company. Then I was moved to Charlotte to take on a senior role, head up the acquisitions and strategy group from 2004 to 2007. They also paid for my MBA from Duke University. Started real estate part-time 2007. 2008 was my first full year. Here's the thing on all of this. None of this is original. Business is not original. I've been coached by a dozen real estate trainers and programs, documented $150,000 I've spent on real estate coaching. I've had as much as $4,000 a month of expense and paid $25,000 for a week of training by real estate coaches. But I've also been coached outside of the real estate industry, and I spent even more on Tony Robbins, Tom Wheelwright, Dan Kennedy, Evan Pagan, Brendan Burchard, some information marketing guys. And so there's a lot of information or just training and systems and processes and strategies that those guys bring to the table that is infinitely sort of 180 degrees what we know in real estate, which has really helped me build a business that runs itself. I started my brokerage in December 2010, but it just has my team in it. So there's not any brokerage component. I have but one independent agent. He's just a guy that left my team that wanted to do his own thing, and kind of kept him on my team, or kept him in the brokerage. I personally dropped buyers in 2010. That was my switchover year. I dropped sellers in a couple times. First time I kind of just gave it up without a whole lot of focus on making it stick. So 2011, 2012, and then I exited day to day, kind of the end of 2012, third, fourth quarter 2012, and been working on getting out of the business more and more. So if you look at the Ultimate Business Blueprint, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but it's the way that I grew my career. Basically started my journey was with a buyer system, uh, master that side of things, a seller system, building a team, and then stepping out. So let's get into the questions. So the first question that I get a lot of times is, and I'm keeping track of time here. We're at 2:15. What is leverage? How can I use it to build a multi-million-dollar real estate business? 3 points of leverage is technology, marketing, and people. I just changed to 4 critical technologies. Obviously, it just allows you to get more done in less time. Most agents get technology, so I'm not going to sort of beat you over the head here. Google Apps. If you don't have Google Apps, you really should consider it. And I'll go through it here in a little bit. Real estate CRM or transaction management software. I'll go through the one that we use. A direct response website, sort of a non-branded site, and then call tracking and recording. It doesn't have to be complicated and or expensive. And I've done pretty good. I'll say pretty good because I've stuck with these core 4 technologies. But the key is to avoid being distracted by shiny objects and chasing squirrels. Marketing is still an activity that I get involved in, and it is the absolute highest style productive activity in my business. I still create our marketing content. Most of it is on autopilot, but I will change different messages if we're not pulling on radio or with our direct mail pieces. Most agents will go right to branded advertising when they're out of the gate. I started my first 2-3 years solid was all less branded direct response. So I think that's critical. Buyer lead gen efforts, have to be focused on some kind of less branded IDX solution like Boomtown or Commissions Inc. And yard marketing is just a gold mine if you do yard marketing properly. Seller lead gen focused on farming radio expired with John Fisbo's. I went through that. Our past client program focuses on referrals from SOI and past clients, and we hold all of our expenses accountable. So let me jump over, and I'm imagining most of you have seen our yard marketing tracker, but I'll just kind of bring it up here. And this is where I really look at my business on as pillars. So Boomtown is a pillar in my business. We have 58 sales from Boomtown this year so far. I just added pay-per-click. So I was running probably half the year at their technology license fee. And we track returns right now. Boomtown is returning 16.3 times for us. Yard marketing, we're at 43 transactions from yard marketing. The return there is 18.6 times. Radio, we're at 39 transactions. This doesn't include October, so this is just through the end of September. Radio, you can see there, expired sellers, FSBO, Raving Fan Club. We've got 98 sides between past client SOI and agent SOI. And then we've added some things which we're in the process of filling out. Some of the returns on Commissions Inc., referrals from agents, my farm, and we just added Zillow as well. Hopefully Zillow won't be one of those squirrels for us. So anyway, let me go back to the presentation here. So in terms of our org structure, I went through this here, but the whole point is that I broke up my job into two functions. The sales manager and operations manager. Sales manager is responsible for bringing business in the door, and our operations manager is responsible for giving them a killer experience, and they're going to go talk to all their friends about our experience, their experience with me. So let's cover the 4 critical technology tools that every agent must have. Here's where I probably get the most crap from agents is that I'm one of these dinosaurs that still is using Top Producer, and I can't lie if I won't lie and say that I've not had a love-hate relationship with Top Producer, but it covers everything in my business. It serves as my contact manager, my listing manager, my closing coordination tool. Every closing I've ever had in my business is in Top Producer. When I was a new agent to a team leader to a business owner, It handles our lead management on the seller side. So we handle lead conversion, client servicing, listing management, past client servicing. Here's my thing. If you don't have any real estate CRM, obviously you need to get one. Top Producer runs my entire business. I can run my entire business in Top Producer until 450, 500 sales, wherever that sweet spot I decide is. I'm going to pull it up here real quick, and I'm not a rep for Top Producer, so but I'm going to show you a few things as a business owner that I'll go in. Just really easy tool to kind of navigate. But all of our listings are managed out of Top Producer. So it gives me comfort to know that we have 14.5 million of listings right now on a weekly basis. Cherie, my ops manager, and Kara, my listing manager, will sit with our listing partners and go through Top Producer and review every one of our pending and active listings. And so that's a systematic sort of thing. Our closings. So we have 269,000 of commissions that are coming in the next 45 to 60 days. That gives me some comfort as the owner of the company from a cash flow perspective. I know our run rate of expenses after gross margin is about 85, 90,000 a month. And that's all in with salaries and marketing expenses and overhead and general administrative expenses. And so of the 269, our gross margins are roughly 65, 66%. So that tells you a lot about our compensation structure. We only pay out, and that's with me in none of those transactions. We only pay out 34 to 35% blended listing and buyer side. And we add enough value to agents to be able to justify that. So just between those, we've got handle our marketing. We print labels on different campaigns, all of our emails and letters. We've got action plans on listing. When we list a property, everything is handled. The cool thing from an owner perspective is that if I decide that, for whatever reason, when we list a property, go to listing plans, our seller's not happy with the experience in the first 3 days, I'll just go in here and add a call every day from our listing coordinator. And I'll just put some notes in it, and it'll just show up in her Top Producer in her task, and it'll tell her what to do. So I can manage the client experience of a team that sells 300 plus homes via a plan that I can just put in, add my 2 cents in. And, it manages to-dos, calls, emails, letters, all that good stuff. So I'm not a salesperson for Top Producer, but it's certainly a tool that you should take a look at. Let's see the next one here. Direct response website. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here. I think everyone's heard of, sort of Boomtown, Commissions Inc., those IDX lead sites. I've had Boomtown. I was their number 9 customer, October 2008. We have like 20, I don't know how many thousand leads in here now. So there's 1,600 active. I think we've got like 11. So that's like 13. I think we got like 22,000 overall. Yeah, I think we got like 22,000 leads in Boomtown. So they've done some cool things with technologies in terms of reverse prospecting for sellers, and these guys are great as far as advancing technologies. Commissions Inc. is equally a good website. They've actually got a better accuracy with getting phone numbers. Boomtown, I'm running like 40% or so. I'm at about 55% with Commissions Inc. You can see the number of leads we've gotten this month, 277 leads this month already at a lower cost than Boomtown. This is our forward-facing Boomtown site, our forward-facing Commissions Inc. site. We've got a seller home eval landing page through Team Leads. Disclosure here, I've not gotten these leads to work yet. I say yet because there's a way to make these work. The thing is, there's a lot of chatter now about how these leads are leads, and they're not leads. I'll tell you that. Somebody that goes on a website and wants to know what their home is worth, my gut tells me, and I don't have the data to support it yet, but my gut tells me that maybe 2, 3, 4 out of 100 are actual sellers. So if you want to get a lead pool of 20 to 30 leads, you're going to have to generate, in my opinion, again, I've got no fact to support it, but in my opinion, you're going to have to generate yeah, 1,000 leads to get 20 to 30 actual seller leads. And then we just need a process to sort of siphon those leads and sift and sort and get through them to find out which ones are sellers. But calling them has not been effective for me. I've got sort of a branded direct response landing page here through Team Leads as well. This is where we send our radio traffic. I've got a sold 29days.com. This is where I send our FISBO and expired, just same landing page, just a different message up here. So we say, your home sold 29 days guaranteed, or I'll sell it for free. And I've tested those, and we've got our radio ads here as seen on stuff there. So those all work really, really well. Google Apps, I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard of Gmail, but to actually have an integrated suite of products, for business users, it's like $50 per user per year. I've got like 22 people on it. If you're still doing like larsrealtor@gmail.com as your domain, right now, you don't even need to watch the rest of this webinar. Go and get a Google Apps. Just Google Apps for Business and sign up right away. We are all, Tia at Lars Real Estate, Chris at Lars Real Estate is promoting your brand. You're the guy or gal that's taking all the risk. So you need that professional image, integrated email, calendar, docs, drive, blogger, YouTube. Let me just show you a couple things that are pretty cool about it. I'm not going to go through Gmail or any crap like that, but here's my calendar. And I have it set up in a way where all of our inside salespeople and our agents, as they set buyer appointments, they put it on a calendar and copy themselves to the appointment. So I know really just visually how we're doing on the buy side in terms of either showing appointments or new buyer consults. The same thing on the listing side. I'm able to pull up, so this is this week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 appointments. We're at Wednesday. We'll probably set a few more appointments in there. It's just a visual tool, keeps the whole team sort of on point. And we pull these up in our meetings when we review buyer appointments or listing appointments. We've basically mimicked the buyer side of our business to match the seller side of our business. So the same way we go out and list homes for sale, we list sellers, we do the same thing with buyers, and we have the same sort of process in place and presentations in place to do that. What else we got here on Google Apps? Google, let me show you some Google Drive documents here. Buyer Specialist Success Tracker. So our agents on a weekly basis will go and enter their results for the week. And I just send them to a form, Buyer Specialist Weekly Success Tracker, where they put in, the date, their name, if they set appointments, how those appointments went, if they've submitted their paperwork to our company, how many offers under contract, buyer closings, note cards, go for no's, seller referrals to the team, and the A, B, and C buyers that they're working with. So really, really simple tool, and it's basically free once you have Google Apps. Here's another cool thing. This is how I work with my ISAs when they set appointments. All they do is go to a form, a Google Docs form, and they basically enter the details of the appointment. So the date, their name, if it's a buyer consult, a showing appointment, or if it's just a pre-qual, what appointment time, date, buyer prospect name, phone number, those sorts of things. If they're an A, B, or C prospect, their price range, what areas they're looking at, and what's the lead source. And all that information goes automatically to someone that can hand out that appointment. Same thing on the listing side. There's just slightly different questions, but for the most part, same process. So I make them look up, I make them ask, how much they own the property, what's an acceptable selling price, have them look up the Zillow estimate for the property, how many miles the subject property is from our office, how they heard about us, what's the source, if they're interviewing other agents, if they're ready to sign, if we came out and we're a good fit for them. I've showed you the marketing ROI tracker. Our buyer agents, fill out a buyer client pipeline report so I can tell, where their book of business is, if they're busy or not busy, if they have A, B, C buyers, whatnot. And, so they'll track if they met them, signed, pre-approved, viewed homes, all that good stuff. All right, and what else? I've got Viral manages our blog for us. So this is our client-facing blog. It's Lars Group Real Estate Advisors video blog with Lars Hedenborg, your real estate expert. And we've got lead capture forms, MLS market snapshot for top producer, special report, our Boomtown widget on the right here. This was, our government shutdown. Hi, this is Lars Hedenborg. I'm the team leader of the. So it's cool. I mean, these guys at Viral work with you. If something happens like a government shutdown, you don't have to ask them if you can put a video out. You just shoot your video, send it over, and say, hey, send this to my list today. So it really, really ups your level of personal communication without literally calling your hundreds of past clients. You can shoot a video. Video is the most personal level of communication without physically picking up the phone. Okay. One I'm probably most excited about here is call tracking and recording. So lead tracking, obviously, if you're spending money, you're not tracking results, you're wasting money. We record every one of our calls, and we do that for training purposes and to optimize our sales funnel. Obviously, live answers, are critical. If the phone rings and your people aren't answering, you'd be surprised how many people are not. Let me look at some questions here. All right. Okay, so no questions that I'll have to answer right now. So if by phone, it's very inexpensive. I spend like $92 a month on it. Let me just pull it up here real quick. So I have 22 phone numbers that I track. Anytime I do any kind of marketing, I'll track the phone number, even if I think it's going to be a small marketing effort for us. I mentioned Service for Life. Email and print versions of that. I have a separate phone number for each to track those calls. We've got a coming soon sign that we have, a just sold sign. They have different phone numbers, Zillow, Everyday Open House, our yard signs, our Boomtown seller leads, my real estate webmasters website number, our farm. Everything I do has a separate number. And you can literally say how you want that call to be handled. So for VoicePad, if we're open for business, it goes to our inside sales. If we're closed, it goes to a voicemail. But if it's sort of after hours, it goes to our outside sales. And if it doesn't get someone on the phone, it rings out to 5 agents at one time. So it's pretty cool. And you can run reports on this. So let's just pull a quick report here. I can look at everything that's happened, the calls we've had. So this is the month of October. I can see our radio. I've already talked to, on our radio is hurting real bad. Expired mailings are 20 calls, which is really good. So this is just a cool way. Our other radio station's actually doing okay. 11 calls this month from Paul Schatt. So that's the number 4 critical technology. Now I'm trying to get through this all. I think I've got just too many slides. 3 areas. I'm going to breeze through this. It's basically lead gen, systemizing your business. Lead gen is, if you're wondering what leads to call in your business, you've lost the battle. Lead conversion, obviously getting good at that part yourself, and then bringing people on to take over that, and then client servicing. Lead gen challenges, basically it's systemizing this part of the business, and the goal is to automate all of that. I've mentioned Boomtown Commissions Inc. Lead management policy is critical, and I'm going to show you that real quick here. Let me see if I can find it. And so we've just, and I took a version of this from another agent and basically made it mine to match our systems. But we've got something called opportunity time. It's the typical or traditional phone duty. Basically agents cover 24-hour time slots, and they'll get leads during those time slots, and we monitor, what happens during those time slots. Our agents are only allowed 100 leads, so they're each allowed 100 leads in their Boomtown account, and we monitor that, and we sweep leads out of their account. What else? The ABC lead management process is pretty standard. VoicePad, yard sign calls, it says how those leads are to be handled. We have a general lead pool. So we have every day our yard sign calls are put into a dialer that our agents can use the next day to call the folks that either weren't converted or weren't answered live. And same thing with Boomtown. Anyone that wasn't handled properly, any lead that wasn't handled properly in Boomtown is in an archive account, in a general account. We've got our client care coordinators, our inside salesperson, lender cross-selling. We've got vendors that help us with our pay for marketing expenses, how we handle low price, for non-performance, if you're not doing what you said you were going to do or what you agreed to do, and the consequences for non-performance. These are the accountability reports, what we look at as far as lead follow-up. And the expectations are that every lead is to be called, every lead is to be emailed, every lead needs an e-alert set, and every lead needs a to-do. And then, all of our hot leads need to be called every 7 days, nurture 14, watch every 30 days, and then basically corrective action. So if you don't have a lead management policy in place, you definitely need one. All right, let's jump back. And I'm going to really pick up the pace here because I've got too much to go through. Conversion, I don't deal with a lot of, just picking up the phone and calling leads and calling them consistently. It's a high dollar productive activity. If it's just you and you need to make your calls, you have to block time and stick to it. Call reluctance, it's real. Call reluctance is real. Obviously, once you get better at it, it becomes a little bit easier to digest. For 2.5, 3 years when I first got started, I was religious about Tuesday, Thursday nights, 6:30 to 8:30, and Saturday mornings, 10 to 12. I had a newborn at the time, and I was there's no way you could stop me from going upstairs to my office and making those calls. And I would have other call blocks as well, but 10 to 12 hours minimum of calls I would make. And it's what really got my business off the ground. Conversion. I've got some call tracking sheets. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. I'll just send them out to the group here. I coached with Bob Corcoran, and he was a maniac when it came to accountability. And we sort of took his method of accountability and reporting and really sort of made it our own. And we have a weekly activity tracker, which basically, and I'll send this out to the group, but for every day, basically you're tracking your prospecting, your follow-up, your referrals to the company. Down here, the note cards you write, the go for no's you have, the new contacts you add to your database. And then on the back of this sheet, basically, we're looking for each one of our buyer specialists to book 6 appointments on their own per week. And they track that on the sheet. So this is just one sheet per week, and they go to that Google Docs form that I showed you and enter their results every week, and we review them at a weekly meeting. And for our inside sales, we actually have a daily tracker, which is basically the same information, but she does way more dials. So she needs, Boomtown outbound, getting on the phone burner, sending emails, and then she logs her appointments and any new leads entered into Boomtown and any leads that are sent to pre-qual. So I'll make that available to you guys as well. All right, let's pick up the pace, Lars. So client servicing. Here's the thing that we focused most on in the last couple of years is documenting our service, the service we provide to sellers and to buyers, and putting them into Top Producer in terms of action plans. So without documented systems in place, you're always going to be tied to your clients. And in order to exit the business like I have, you must build out a repeatable client experience. So once documented, systems can be automated via action plans in any real estate CRM. I just happen to use Top Producer. And so if you're a solo agent or you have a small team and you don't have any systems or your services documented, it's just something, it is not fun work, I'll tell you. And if you're an I personality, you need to hire someone to help you to do it. Okay, so this is probably the most fun section that I'll go through. And it's really, I spent some time with Tony Robbins, and he says business is 80% psychology. and 20% strategy and tactics. And I absolutely believe it. So let's run through 6 mindset shifts that are required for you to build a real business. First of all, you own a business. Even if you're alone and it's just you and you're just starting out, you own a business and you have to treat it that way. Number one role in your company is that you're a marketer. You need to act that way. Every day you have to create new business. You always have to be thinking dollar productive activity. Number 5, business is 80% psychology, 20% strategy. That's Tony Robbins. And then I think number 6, by the grace of God, I've been better than most agents in avoiding shiny objects and chasing squirrels. I have a squirrel in my office at work, and it's kind of staring at me all the time to avoid chasing squirrels. But so you own a business, treat it that way. Most agents are busy working with clients and the minutia that comes along with selling and listing homes. You have to realize that even though you're a lone ranger, you're still running a business, and that means that money matters. Think about the key positions in a real business, things that must get done every day. Either you're ignoring these things or you're not, or you're doing all of them. And so monthly financials as a bare minimum, track the source of your sales so you can do a marketing ROI report. And then every week I run a 90-day cash flow forecast. So I know exactly how much cash is coming in and how much expenses are going out. They're not optional. They're mandatory, these reports. So I can give you more information on those if you're interested. In terms of marketing, marketing kind of gets a bad rap. It's really one of the highest dollar productive activities you can focus on. First off is direct response marketing, not the branded marketing that most agents pursue. It's high return. Even if it's branded marketing, we have a direct response element to it. Focuses on giving prospects a reason to take action. Your advertising and marketing must be measured. You've seen the marketing ROI tracker. You can't spend money if you're not going to measure it. Get comfortable telling people that you're in the marketing business. You happen to own a real estate company. It's a real mindset shift. In terms of creating new business, we've covered most of this, but it's the key to having a sustainable business is that new business generation happens without you. It's a combination of lead generation, lead management, and lead conversion, and they're all critical. Probably the most important and the biggest ball that's dropped is lead management. Hold on one second here. Okay. Okay, so referrals. We've done a real good job with referrals. I'm going to show you real quick. Hopefully that's not. Give me a yes if I'm still alive. I don't think I killed it. Anyway, okay. So let's check out our. We do a pretty cool contest as a team. We call it our Rockstar contest. It's basically a monthly contest. We give away a $300 gift card, and so basically it's it's fun to cash commission checks, but bragging rights are fun too. We've got a big leaderboard in our office, and the agents really do get into it. Nothing to do to enter, just keep getting in front of clients and selling homes. Meet with clients, get them to sign, get them under contract, close the contract. Pretty simple. And we hand this out every week. It's a $300 shopping spree to a local mall. And then the other contest we have is our Go for No, which is basically anyone in the company can just ask for referrals to promote an environment where we're getting referrals all the time. So this is really cool. It's a $100 shopping spree. I guess not much of a shopping spree with $100, but so okay, time to get out of your comfort zone and start asking for referrals. So basically a legitimate referral. We just asked the question. Bob Senk visited with our team for a week, and one of the most powerful things I got from his visit was this simple question. And asking this question over and over and over again to anyone you come into contact with. Obviously, you need to build some rapport first, so it's not totally awkward. But hey, you don't know anyone looking to buy or sell a home, do you? Just work it into a conversation. If you can ask that question, 25, 30 times a week, I promise you, you're going to sell 20, 30, 40, 50 homes more a year. And if you have a team and everyone does it, the compound effect in action. So you get 1 point for every qualified referral you email to our sales manager. Qualified referral, someone looking to buy or sell, and you get the $100. So that's pretty cool. Not a real high cost there. Okay. Getting ready to wrap this up here. So number 4, mindset shift, is dollar productive activity. So I'm going to go through the calculations, my calculations, and how I view my time. So my goal is to net $1 million. So in order to net $1 million, and I don't want to work that many hours either. So a typical work year is 2,000 hours, and I want to work 1,000 hours. So to net $1 million working 1,000 hours, every hour I work has to be is worth $1,000 an hour. So can you imagine if every hour you worked was worth $1,000 an hour, how quickly things would be dumped off of your plate? That's kind of how I view my business. The only parts I touch right now are things that I can have that severe an impact. And I do from time to time, mostly to get out with my listing specialist, but if I go out on a listing appointment now, it's a high price appointment, and it's one that I know the listing specialist couldn't get without me. So I'll go out for an hour. I won't be there for the part where they fill out the paperwork, but I'll help them win the business, and it'll be worth, $10,000, $15,000 to the company. So do this calculation. Maybe for you, it's, you want to net, maybe you're starting out and you want to net 250,000. And you want to work 2,000. Let's just do simple math. 200,000, and you're going to work 2,000 hours a year, and that's $100 an hour. Even at $100 an hour, there's 80% of your job you can shed off at under $20 an hour. So just start thinking about that, and start working those numbers, and it'll really change the way you view your time. Business is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. During Business Mastery with Tony Robbins in Fiji, it was just about the most awesome event. But it was really a mind exercise or training, more so than the mechanics of running a business. You have to be driven by something much bigger than money or becoming number one in your market. There has to be some juice behind your big why. Building a business is really, really hard. There's no way around it. With the right mindset, the feeling that you could do anything because you can will infinitely increase your odds of success. And I'm going to see if I can play this without. I couldn't really record it because you're not allowed to record in a Tony Robbins event. But I was able to get my phone on, and I don't know if this is going to mess up because it's too close to my speaker or whatnot. But I'm going to try to play this here. And basically, it's Tony Robbins running us through an exercise where we're saying, I am a gladiator. This is my season. Winter is my time. Give me your fears and limitations, and I will give you results. And it's like, I still get goosebumps. I mean, obviously, we went through a couple of days of work before we got to this point, but the only difference between me and someone, I'm doing Seth Campbell's training after this, his business planning training. If you guys haven't checked him out, he's pretty smart guy. So I'm a gladiator. This is my season. Winter is my time. Give me your fears and limitations, and I will give you results. So let me see if this is going to play all right. And it probably won't, but if you want a copy of this video, I can send it to you. Think about what it means to be a gladiator. If you're a gladiator in your business, you're going to hold the level of your life. If you're truly fucking fearless, by the way, doesn't mean you don't feel fear. If somebody has courage, they're scared shitless, but they do it anyway. It's not courage if you don't have any fear. So a gladiator might have fear, but they snap it out of themselves by going to state. I am a gladiator. I am a gladiator. I am a gladiator. I am a gladiator. Winter is my season. Winter is my season. This is my time. This is my time. Give me your fears, give me your limitations, and I'll give you results. Give me your fear, give me your limitations, and I'll give you results. Massive action is the way I live. Massive action is the way I live. I am a gladiator. I am a gladiator. So anyway, I mean, it was a powerful, I missed the part here, massive action. And this is winter is my season. This is my time. Massive action is the way I live. And that's really what it's all about, is taking action, and sort of making things happen. Real estate is not rocket science. It's how hard is it to talk to someone who's looking to buy a home and get in front of them, show them homes, write a contract, do the same thing on the listing side. That's the easy part of it. But the psychology of stepping through that easy part of the business and growing a team and leading a team and being able to stand in front of a group of people and inspire them is a different level of work. So number 6, and this is the most near and dear to my heart because I've been involved in every coaching program, and most of them flash shiny objects and have squirrels running all over the place. In terms of what I do and the way I help agents, the most important part of all the training I will do is this: beware of shiny objects. Focusing your efforts on a few simple tools and strategies will always win over constantly trying new things. I know dozens and dozens of agents and personal friends of mine that have chased real estate CRM after real estate CRM, and as a result, they weren't able to build momentum in their business, and it ultimately their progress was hindered, and they never got to the next level. Most agents are looking for a quick fix. Getting rich and making lots of money is typically pretty boring. Don't fall into this trap. Think Darren Hardy, the compound effect. He gives an example of a hand pump water well, and it takes a lot of effort. If the water is 400 feet down or however many feet down water is in a water well, you pump it, you pump it, you pump it. There's no water. There's no water. Finally, the water starts coming out. And at the time the water comes out, that's when it's sort of easier to keep things going. But the effort to get it to come up is really where it's at. And that's what I was able to push through a couple of years there, where I was uh, uncomfortable feeling every day. At this point, my business is about 4 to 5 marketing pillars, but for you, maybe it's going to be 3 to 4 key marketing pillars, and you focus all your effort on being the best at just a handful of things. The same thing with technology platforms. Give me Google Apps, give me Top Producer, give me a buyer lead gen IDX site, and give me some kind of tracking technology like If by Phone, and I can do anything in real estate. So let's see where we are here. Okay, so that's pretty much the content I wanted to cover today, and anything that I went through, I'm going to make available for everyone on this call. I've got all your email addresses. I'll send out a link where you can download some of the tools that I showed. I want to cover, the ultimate business blueprint for real estate agents. The buyer system, the seller system, building a self-managed team, stepping out of the business. This was my journey, and in a very short time, I was able to step out of the business. I've developed those core 4 building blocks. The first one is a buyer system. It's buyer lead generation system. It's less branded direct response. The key is buyer lead management. That's where the money is made. Buyer lead conversion, mastering scripts and dialogues. A buyer presentation on the buy side is about earning the respect you deserve in terms of never getting cheated on again, having a buyer loyalty agreement and related docs so you can actually list your buyers. Buyer client servicing systems, home search, and contract to closing. Same thing on the listing side, seller lead gen management for maximum ROI. The seller side, the leads are way more expensive, so you have to be careful in terms of maximizing your ROI. Seller lead conversion mastery, we've got a 7-step listing process to maximize listing success rate. When I was being coached by Jay Kinder, he had a 5-step listing process, and we sort of expanded on that. The build rapport, show authority, show your services, get them to commit. All those things are critically important. Seller pre-listing materials to maximize your chances of getting a listing. So we send out a pre-list package. For the most part, the seller has it. Either they bring it into the office with them or they have it there, and they're pre-sold on our services. We go through a marketing presentation. It answers any and all objections that they'll ever have. Listing packet materials. Our listing specialists go out and basically get a listing assigned, and then they've got a bunch of forms that our photographer will pick up. So we sort of minimize the listing agent's time at the property. Then listing management and servicing to create over the top rating fans. Building a self-managed team. This is probably the most fun part of the process. There's different ways to go about this. So there's different organization structures that you can do in terms of getting to the end game here. We use DISC, raving fan culture. All these things are part of building out a self-managed team, position agreements, recruiting. How do you get agents to buy into your vision at much, much lower splits? We pay out 22.5% to our listing specialists, and on average about 38 to 40% to our buyer specialists, and they still make really, really good money. Half of our agents will make more than $100,000 this year. Weekly team rhythm in terms of team meetings and daily huddles, setting team agent goals. And then Bob Corcoran introduced me to a book, Five Dysfunctions of a Team. If you have a team, it's a must. They've got manuals that go along with it as well. In terms of stepping out of your business, it's really about having a strategic plan that your team buys into, optimizing your sales funnels, and that's what I work on. Knowing those numbers and knowing your ROI, holding every dollar accountable, knowing where your money goes, forecasting cash flow in the future, becoming a CFO, managing your cash flow. I mean, that can literally kill your company. Deciding what your time is worth. I've got a personal productivity system, dominate your day. I start with a morning ritual, and then I have 60, 60, 30 time blocks with laser focus. And then I do a daily mental workout that I go through as well. So that's it. You can visit the website businessblueprintinnercircle.com. I've made it real easy with a $1 trial. You get 2 in-depth training videos, checklists, a whole bunch of cool stuff. Let me pull up the site here and just kind of show you. So you can go to larshedenborg.com. It lays it all out for you. And if you go to Business Blueprint Inner Circle.com, you can sign up. And I'm giving you, I know there's a lot of critics out there and skeptics, and I've made it easier. It's just $1 to sign up. So check it out. Go to larshedenborg.com, click on Inner Circle. You can read everything that's involved here. There's basically 2 to 3 training videos, everything in my business laid out for you. Lee Miltier is a peak productivity coach for entrepreneurs, and I pay her $1,000 a month to train me in certain aspects, and I pass that training on with permission from her to my coaching clients, and you'll have access to that. There's bonus videos, and it follows the same 4 core building blocks, the training. So it's a no-brainer. It's really everything I've done in my business laid out for you. The purpose of this call, obviously, I've got services to sell, so I'm not going to, sort of hide behind that. But the goal of these webinars is to add as much value as possible. So I'll continue to do them, and I'll probably in the future I'll make them more topical. And you can always email your topics to me as well. And let me see if there's any questions that you guys have. If you guys want to type in some questions, you can go ahead and do it right now, because that's basically I'm done with we just finished on an hour, so I didn't want to go too much past the hour. Lars, you have a good reading list to help get our minds straight for growth and motivation. Anything with Tony Robbins, I would highly, highly recommend. He's got a Get the Edge program. Tony, I think it's like a 3-part. I think it might be the Ultimate Edge. Ultimate Edge. That I would really recommend. It's if this is the one I'm thinking of. Then there's a bunch. Yeah, this is it. I think it's like you can get on Amazon. There's discounters that sell it. I think he sells it for $300. There's a guy that sells it for like $200. He's probably got them. I don't know. Found them somewhere, but I recommend stuff like that. That just makes it easy. I'm not a big reader, but I'm always putting stuff in the car. Darren Hardy is sort of offshoot of Jim Rohn. He's got the Living Your Best Year Ever, the Compound Effect, really good stuff. Success Magazine comes with a CD every month. I do the executive book summaries with Darren Hardy as well. I'm now into some Dan Kennedy stuff. He's got the Renegade Millionaire. He's got the Wealth Attraction series. Those sorts of things. Think and Grow Rich obviously is the classic. I would highly recommend that. Let's see here. Okay, so one of you asked the monthly Inner Circle. So basically, the first month of monthly Inner Circle, I made it available for just $1. So you'll get basically it'll take you through a mindset exercise. It'll take you through an assessment of your business. And you'll go through, I think there's some other bonus stuff in there, and there's Lee Miltier training. and you'll get a bunch of free things just for signing up. You get like 5 years of my business plan and stuff like that. After that month trial, it's $197 a month. So it's kind of a joke, the charge for it. I literally go through month by month. Month 2 is my full buyer system. Month 3 is the full listing system. Months 4 through 6 is sequentially building out a team, and month 7 through 9 is running a business or owning a business, stepping out of your business versus operating a business. And then we kind of dig deeper in months after that. So it's $197 a month. I'm going to be adding an Inner Circle Gold membership, which is there's some personal interaction with me. There's going to be a monthly Q&A and a monthly topical call on top of the $197 a month. So you can opt in for that as well. I haven't finalized that right now. Yep, how much? It's $197 a month. How do you route your leads to your buyer agents? So we have, so in Boomtown, we've if you're on opportunity time, they basically go to one agent at a time. If it's Monday 9 through 6, it's going to my inside salesperson, and then my inside salesperson, when they leave for the day, they're switching it over to the opportunity time agent, and that agent's responsible for following up with those leads. And on the weekends, they do it themselves. I got a question about one-on-one coaching. I do offer one-on-one coaching. You can check it out on larshedenborg.com. I call it consulting. I'm also doing a platinum level mastermind, but on my one-on-one consulting, and I'm pretty much full here. My goal is to only have about 12 or 15 clients at a time. It's the same levels, same 4 core building blocks. We've got 3 levels of coaching, and it's basically, I want to get in and out of your business as quickly as possible. So we'll evaluate where you are and get out as quickly as possible. And I've got levels. It's basically $15,000 or $18,000 for 6, 9, or 12-month training. And the goal is to get in, install all of my systems and everything that I'm using in my business in either 6, 9, or 12 months. It's not for a lengthy, ongoing relationship like a lot of the coaches have out there. Let's see what. That's a tough one. What buyer lead IDX unbranded system should I invest in first? I mean, the Boomtown's worth looking at. Commissions Inc. is worth looking at. Real Geeks has a pretty inexpensive platform. I know Conversion has been getting some heat lately, but I think they're decent looking. Again, one-on-one coaching, you can go to larshedenborg.com and check that out. I'm on a team that uses CP coaching. Does this conflict? No, I mean, I think every agent's a free agent. So whether you want to grow your business or not is independent of any coaching program you're in right now. Yep, Compound book, great book. Thank you, great information. If you want to ever consult with me in person, I've got a couple questions about that. If you go to the website, where the heck is it? So if you go to larshedenborg.com, and I think you can even just go to the contact form here, or if you have a coaching specific question on our one-on-one consulting, on the bottom, I think if you complete the form here, it'll notify me and submit your coaching request. And basically, we just get on the phone for 30 minutes. We'll do a consult. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Go to the website and do that. Jeff said, thank you. Yeah, monthly gold is True Dan Kennedy, Jim West. So yeah, I've done a lot of the Dan Kennedy stuff, and the goal here is to give out as much information as possible to as many agents as possible, information that's not available anywhere else, and that's my true goal here. Do you feel these systems can be applied to the mortgage industry? That's a guy here in my neighborhood. I do. I mean, it's basic business training, lead generation, lead management, and lead conversion, and the systems that go along with it. Absolutely. Oh, I guess I've been a realtor for 30 years, neglected. Due to ministry involvement. Love that. It's now time to gear up once again. Do you think? Absolutely. There's someone here, GJ Rancourt. The systems here are simple enough that, not to call you an old timer, but you've been in real estate for 30 years, but it's not real complicated. It's inexpensive systems and technologies, and it's step by step the training. So I would definitely. Um, do you share the spreadsheets and process for Google Docs? Google Docs is a bit of a process, but it's really easy to learn. I could probably do a whole separate session on just how to set those up, and I might do those as another. Richard Toccato, he's actually in my market. Yeah, so Richard, if you're still on, definitely go to the website and submit your information. Automate expired and FSBO mailings. What did I use to track mail campaigns? I just use a trackable URL or email address or phone number. We manage those directly out of RedX. So we manage the mailings out of there, and we print labels out of there. And then Jim West said thank you. So let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. My expired letter vendor, again, if you haven't heard of Haas Pratt, I'll give Haas some props here. HaasPratt.com. I think this is his website. Yep. So he does coaching as well, but his listing boss, it's HaasPratt.com. His listing boss, I've told him over and over again he doesn't charge enough for it, but I think it's $497. I don't have the rights to give his stuff away. There's some cool stuff in here. I highly recommend taking a look at it. That's the vendor there. Who was the person with expired FSBOs? That's Hoff Pratt. Yes, Craig Fort. Could we copy of the slides? This will be recorded. I'll send out a link to it. Chris is teasing me that something looks familiar. Chris is a buddy of mine from Seattle. You'll have to send me an email. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Slides aren't changing. Hopefully the slides worked out. I talked about lead routing. Buyer specifically is $4 per month. Don't know what that's still showing. Okay, it's working. Are you entering your commissions, Inc. leads into Boomtown? No. Chris asked the question. We keep those systems separate. Boomtown is still my core system, and my agents use that, and my inside salesperson uses that. Commissions, Inc. I brought on board, and I'm offshoring the calling and lead management to Nicaragua, and I'm now bringing on 3 callers with my outdesk. Using Boomtown for sellers, there's the debate with the whole seller lead gen. I have used the Boomtown seller lead gen site. I can generate 300 leads in 3 days for not a whole lot of money, about $2 a lead. But I haven't really dialed in getting them to convert, so I'm working on that. Viral, Chris is asking a question about viral. It's hard to measure the success of viral, but the highest touch I can imagine with a client is a personal phone call or a face-to-face meeting. I feel like viral or any video marketing, personal video marketing, is about the highest touch communication you can get. So I believe in it, to the point where I actually started a recruiting blog with viral. So I've got a blog that I send out to agents in my market for recruiting purposes. Lead management policy, I can share that. It's not. I sort of took someone else's lead management policy and reworked it for my team, but I will share that. 6 appointments per week. There's no magic number with 6 appointments. I just like the number 6, and that fit on the back of that sheet. What do you use to track your financials? Do you create your own Excel spreadsheets? I'm a bit of an Excel jockey, so I do a lot of the Excel work my own. We use QuickBooks, and I've got a bookkeeper. They do all that. We don't manage that in Top Producer. And I think that's all the questions. Yeah, John, give me a call to catch up if you've are all those the steps. Yeah, basically it's the core 4 building blocks, and with the one-on-one consulting, we go in a little bit more detailed of an action plan in terms of really digging into your business and if you need to start building a team, we're going to build a team right away. Or if you've got a more advanced team, we're going to get you out of the business quicker. But anyway, hopefully this was helpful for everybody. Again, visit my website, larshedenborg.com. Check out Inner Circle. It's $1 to try it for the cynics out there. And, we're going to blow away your expectations. And I will add that gold level as well for you guys. And then look out. We're going to be adding a platinum mastermind level, which I'm really, really excited about. That's going to probably roll out first quarter of next year. And it's really just to take the top agents in the country that have teams already and get them together, 20 or 30 agents only, and get them together in a mastermind setting and really do a mastermind the right way. So look forward to that as well. That's it, folks. I appreciate your time. You can reach me on the website. If you have any questions, any questions at all, reach out to me and I will do my best to serve you. And until we meet again, God bless everyone. Go sell some houses and go make a difference. We'll talk to everyone soon.